Hi, I'm Alexis from FlexisFitness.com. I'm a personal trainer and movement coach with over 6 years of experience in the health and fitness industry. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you the best mobility exercises for women. So these exercises are perfect to do before a workout as they will allow your muscles to warm up and also help you expand your range of motion so that you get more benefit in the exercises of your workout to come. By the way, if you're new around here, Flexis Fitness is a community of women who believe that fitness isn't only about looking in shape, but it's about being in great shape. So at Flexis Fitness, we think outside of the box. So you might have noticed that there are plenty of girls on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, Pinterest who are promoting bikini fitness as a healthy lifestyle. The problem with this is they starve themselves in order to look good for a competition, and then the second the competition is over, they just regain all their weight back and lose all the progress that they've made because this lifestyle isn't sustainable. They screw up their hormones and their metabolism and just bounce back to where they start off from the beginning. So at Flexis Fitness, I teach women how to avoid the pain of starving themselves in order to look good before an event such as a vacation or a wedding, and teach them how to create a healthy lifestyle that they can sustain for a lifetime. And with this, women are able to stay in amazing shape all year round and feel happy and confident in their bodies. So if you want to learn more about proper fitness, be sure to scroll down below and click on the subscribe button to see new videos posted daily and join the Flexis Fitness community. So the first exercise we're going to do is the cat-cow. So the cat-cow helps to prepare your spine for activity, and it also will help you stretch out your back torso, and your neck. So we're going to start off on placing your hands directly beneath your shoulders, and your knees should be stacked underneath your hips. So the first thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to pull your shoulders away from your ears. And now you're going to think about arching your lower back. And as you arch your lower back, you're going to be lifting your chin up. So you're going to be looking up. And then, so this is the cow pose. And then after you're gonna want to go into the cat pose, which is tucking your hips beneath you. So you're tucking them under and you're curving your back and tucking your chin. So you're gonna want to perform it nice and slow, really thinking about stretching out along your spine. So you'll want to do 5 reps. So this is the second upper body mobility exercise out of the 3, and this one is called sideline thoracic rotational stretch. So what this means is we're going to be stretching out our thoracic spine, which is basically the upper part of your back torso, as well as your shoulders and your chest. So you're going to want to start off by placing your feet flat on the ground and lying on your back. And now you're going to straighten out. We'll start off on our left side. So you're going to straighten out your left leg and you're going to stack your right leg on top. So you're going to keep the knee bent and just try, if you're capable, you want to bring your knee as close to the ground as possible, but this is where mine stops. And you're going to bring out your left arm. So you're going to bring it straight out and just let your shoulder rest on the ground. So the first thing you're going to want to do is you're going to reach out with your right arm. So reach out slightly, and now think about making an arc with your arm and just twist it to the other side and let it sink down. And now bring it back up. So key thing you want to remember here is you don't want to allow your hips to rotate. So you're not bringing your hips back down as you're doing this movement. And another thing is too, as you reach down, you're just going to let your right shoulder sink into the ground. So you're going to want to perform 5 reps on each side. So the last upper body mobility exercise that we'll be doing today are shoulder dislocates. Now I know that name sounds awful, but I promise you this exercise will help you prevent dislocating your shoulders. Okay, so you're going to need a band, or you could also use a broomstick, something that's light, a straight rod that doesn't weigh much. And you're going to want to start off by holding it out here on the bottom. Now, the further away your arms are, the easier it will be. So the more range of motion you have, you'll see as you progress with this exercise, you'll be able to bring your arms closer together. So for now, I'm just going to start off by holding the band at its ends. And if you're using a band, try not to pull onto the band. So I'm starting off with my elbows locked, and I'm simply just thinking about bringing it overhead. Now, at this point, if you're able to come here, that's fine. But so you want to respect your mobility, but ideally you want to let your arms come all the way back. And then after, when you're here, you're going to bring it overhead once again. So notice that my elbows are staying locked and I'm not arching my lower back, so I'm not sticking my bum out. I'm really keeping everything upright and stable so that I'm just isolating movement at my shoulders. So you're gonna wanna do 5 reps of this 2 times. So next up, I'll be showing you 3 lower body mobility exercises. So first up, we have deep squat hip openers. So for this, you're going to wanna place your feet slightly wider than shoulder width, and you're gonna start off as if you're going into a squat. So you're gonna wanna squeeze your glutes, brace your core, and have your hands out in front of you with your shoulders lowered down. So now I'm just simply gonna go into a deep squat. So you could go as far down as you can while keeping your chest straight up. Now the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to think about pushing my knees outwards with my elbows. So I'm going to perform 5 reps this way. So I'm doing this and I'm keeping my chest up, and I'm also making sure that my heels stay planted on the ground. So you don't want your heels to come off the ground. So there's 5. Now I'm going to be pushing only my left knee out with my left elbow. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And now I'm going to go to the right side. And as I'm doing this, I'm doing it slowly. You don't want to rush through it. You really want to take the time to move through the hips. And 5. So the last one involves just using your glute muscles to push your knees out. So I'm going to let my hands I'm just going to put them out in front of me, and I'm just going to think about engaging my glutes to push my knees outwards. So notice here that I'm not going up and down as I'm doing this. I'm staying low, and I'm just pushing my knees out by rotating at the hip. And I'm going to lower myself down and come up slowly. So if you're new to this, it might feel long to stay in the deep squat position, so you'll want to take breaks between each set. So you'll do 5 reps with both elbows, then 5 with the left and 5 with the right, and then the last one will be without using your elbows. So you'll want to do this 1 time, 5 reps for each part of the sequence. So the second lower body mobility exercise that we have today involves working through internal and external rotation. So before we begin, I'm just going to explain what internal and external rotation are. So internal rotation would be moving your hip joint inwards. So you'd be bringing your leg inwards, and external rotation would be bring the leg out. So what we just did, the first exercise we just did, the deep squat hip openers, was working through external rotation because we were pushing the hips outwards. Now we're going to incorporate some internal rotation. So you're going to want to start off by sitting upright and allowing your legs to be 90 degrees. So the front leg is going to be parallel to you and your back leg is going to be perpendicular to you. So first off, I'm going to start by working through my external rotation of the front leg. So I'm simply going to let my knee drop to the ground while keeping my left glute on the floor. The right glute can come off the ground. So I'm going to walk myself out slowly, and you'll see that as you work through both sides, you may be able to lower yourself down more on one side versus the other. So I'm external rotation comes easily to me, and internal rotation, that's one of my restrictions. So I'm able to stay here comfortably while keeping my glute on the ground. And you would want to hold this position for 2 minutes to really see a benefit. So during the 2 minutes, you'd want to take deep breaths in and out and try to walk yourself further down. So I'm not gonna hold it for 2 minutes here, but once you'd be done the 2 minutes, you would wanna work through that new range of motion and you wanna strengthen it. So the next thing you would do is you would push your knee into the ground and try to get this foot off the ground. So I'm gonna think about pressing that knee into the ground and raising that foot off the ground. And you can see that it doesn't come off the ground that much, that's fine. You may be able to go a bit further up than I can, and you'd release. So you'd want to do 5 reps like that. Next, we want to work through our internal rotation. So I'm going to be using my back leg, and I'm going to think about pressing my right glute into the ground. So I'm just going to sit into it, and to facilitate the stretch, you could bring your arms back behind you, and I'm just gonna sit into it. And once again, I would hold this for 2 minutes, just taking deep breaths in and out and slowly lowering my glute down closer to the ground. So once I'd be done those 2 minutes, I would wanna strengthen that new range of motion. So in this case, when we're working with the back leg, you're gonna wanna sit back up, so you don't have to stay seated with your glute pressed into the ground. You're gonna sit back up straight, and you're gonna think about pressing that knee into the ground again while getting that back foot off the ground. So I'm gonna press that knee into the ground and lift my back foot off and lower it. So press into the ground, lift it up, and I'm going to feel that I'm working that hip joint and lower it. So you'd wanna do 5 reps like that again. So hold both stretches for 2 minutes, do 5 reps of working through and strengthening that new range of motion, and then you'll want to do the same on the other side. The last mobility exercise that we have for today is the modified kneeling lunge. So this exercise will stretch out your hip flexors as well as lengthen your quad muscle. So this will help if you're about to go do a run or go do lunges or squats, any lower body activity. So we're going to start off by placing our foot on a stack of books if you're working out from home. You could also use a stool, a low chair, anything that's going to have your foot elevated slightly because we want to put more emphasis on our quad muscles. If you're working out at the gym, you could use a step or a bench or yoga blocks, and you'll want to adjust the height according to your mobility abilities. So the higher it is, the more emphasis we'll be putting on our quad muscle. So I'm going to start off by placing my back foot on the stack of books I have here. And the closer I bring my knee, the more stretch I'll feel in the quad muscle. And I'm going to bring my other foot out in front of me, and I'm in a lunge position. So from here, I'm going to want to make sure that my shoulders are stacked above my hips. And I also want to focus on bracing my abdominals. And another thing you want to make sure of in order to feel a stretch in your leg is to posteriorly tilt your pelvis. So what do I mean by that? Well, I mean, you want to tuck your hips under, okay? So the second I do that, I'm already feeling a stretch in my hip flexors. So you want to make sure that you're tucking the hips under, hips are facing forward, everything is squared. Now, what you're going to want to do is by driving your knee forward and remembering that the movement is coming from your hips, so you're focusing on pushing your hips forward, you're going to move forward while keeping that posterior pelvic tilt, and you're going to feel that stretch along your leg. And then you're going to come back slightly. And between each rep, you're going to want to go further forward and back slightly. So as I'm doing this, you'll notice that I'm not arching my lower back. I'm really keeping everything facing forward, and my pelvis is staying posteriorly tilted. So you're going to want to perform this for 5 reps, and then you're going to want to do it on the other side as well, and you'll want to do this twice. So there you have it. Those are the 6 mobility exercises that you'd want to be doing before every workout. Because like we said before, you not only want to warm up your muscles, but you also want to increase your range of motion so that you're able to benefit more from the exercises that you'll be doing later on versus if you didn't do this mobility routine before your workouts. If you have any questions or concerns, be sure to comment below. I love hearing from you guys, and I'll be happy to answer anything you'd like. And also, in the meantime, be sure to send this to your workout buddies so that they could benefit from it too. Thanks a lot. I'll see you tomorrow, and have a great day.